Time to hanger on a beautiful straight grain piece of hickory. I hand selected this piece from my collection. Beautiful straight grain. You can see there it's pretty good on the ends, but I can assure you the lines are just perfect. No run out, just on the sides, which will make for a real beautifully grained handle. You usually remove any material off of this portion of the axe with a belt sander. I used to use a draw knife, spoke shave, things like that. Lately I use a belt sander just because it's cleaner, leaves a nicer finish, it's faster, less grunt work. But I've chosen this. This is a 24-inch handle. I think once it gets down on there, it'll be a real nice proportion for this axe. It's not a real big head, it's got a big eye, but this should make it a real nice user-friendly axe. Small enough and light enough to pack, but big enough to do some serious work for sure. Just another look at the beautiful head. Boy, that's nice. This handle actually, I think it'll make for a perfect fit without having to remove anything. If I just, it'll actually push down on there right from the start. And you can see, look at that fit. So if I pound that in there now, a little bit of oil, I think it'll sit right down on the shoulder, just nice and snug, enough to get a wedge right in there. But one thing I have to do first, notice the cut runs down this far on this side, only this far. So the cut's on an angle, probably ran into a table saw, and so it's cut on a radius like this. So I'll finish that cut down a little further. Got a new little tool. This little bandsaw is a gift from my grandfather. I was out in his shop the other day and something he wasn't using, and he gave it to me, which is pretty awesome. It's big enough to handle all kinds of smaller projects like this. Cuts a lot faster and cleaner than a handsaw. Very excited. Gonna give her a shot today. I'm gonna start by cutting out this eye here. So we have it cut down. See, the curve is a lot smaller with the bandsaw than with the table saw, but that's not a big deal at all for this case. We just need something for it to allow the wood to spread instead of splitting. A little bit of oil. I don't expect this to be a real difficult fit at all. Expect this to go pretty smoothly. Let's hope. Sometimes it's sometimes she'll surprise you. You'll have a real bad time, but I don't think this will be bad. Let's get that gorgeous head. So I can push her down that far just like that. I'm going to just tack her right down onto the shoulder. So we're pressed way down onto that handle there now. What I'm going to do, before I wedge, I'm going to trim off some of this, because what happens if I try to shove a wedge down here now, what'll happen is that there's so much spring left in this that it won't grip the wedge tight enough, and the wedge will actually slide back out on me. So I'll trim off enough right about here somewhere. When I pound the wedge in, I'll still have a little bit that I can trim off the top two together. Give you that nice finish that I really like. Got this nice little wedge here. The grain is nice. Just put a little mark, so trim it to the length I need. This bandsaw is really nice, I tell you. So you know we use the same system every time. A little bit of oil on each side, not too much. Just enough so you know that wedge is going in real deep. Going in all the way. quite nicely so far. I'd say that's a pretty nice hang there. So, let me know in the comments section what you think. I think that's pretty clean. I did tack in a little piece right here, just because it looked like a little space, even though it wasn't. Could barely get it down any distance, but I tacked it in, and now it just fills it in a little nicer. Very happy with it. See, I left a little bit proud there, but see, it's a beautiful wedge. Really flares out nicely. You won't have no worries about that head. So here's our step wedge. Put it on the ground here to start it off. This eye is big enough that I'm going to put it straight across, I think. That's about right. Recently got this stuff here on clearance, and I've been using it on a few axe handles now, and I really like what it does. See, in the container it's pretty dark. I apply it, kind of wipe it on, and then give it a little sand after to lighten it up. It just really gives it a rich color, the color that'll take years to get from just dirt and wear. And it gives it in just minutes. It goes on a little bit orange at first, but once you give it a little sand and then finish it off with a little bit of boiled linseed, it really gives you a rich, nice color. I think she's turning out to be quite the axe. What do you think? Restoring her back to her former glory. Beautiful head. See that grain? That handle's real nice. If you could feel it, it's just the balance, the weight. It's just proportioned beautifully. Got that awesome feel. Real small handle. I think the proportion turned out just about perfect. What do you think? The size and weight of the head compared to the length of that handle. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now we're off to do something you haven't seen on this channel before, and that is leather work.